Tonight, 3 firearms and several rounds of ammunition are recovered from Casabah homes and 6 people are arrested as a result. The National Security Minister prompts alarm after indicating that some 20% of murders on island are killings by paid hitmen. And Black Lives Matter movement SLU hopes to spark an awakening of St. Lucian youth with its planned Emancipation Day rally. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 31st of July, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News on Flow, Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and our Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A joint operation of officers attached to the Gros Islet Police Station, the Special Services Unit, SSU, and other police departments recovered 3 firearms and several rounds of ammunition in 2 homes at Casabah. The first home search resulted in the arrest of 2 individuals. At a police press conference on Friday, the 31st of July, Acting Corporal Ann Joseph informed that the police continue to make strides in removing illegal firearms off the streets.
1 Taurus G2C 9mm pistol, 1 Glock 40 pistol, 95 rounds of .40 ammunition, 10 magazines and 10 rounds of 9mm ammunition were recovered by the officers during the conduct of the search. In that home, 2 individuals were arrested. They're currently in custody, 1 male and 1 female.
The search of the second home resulted in the arrest of 4 people.
In the second home, 1 9mm pistol and 10 rounds of 9mm ammunition were also recovered. In that residence, 4 persons were arrested, both male and female, and they're also in police custody.
No charges have been laid in this matter. However, they are expected to be done in short order. Almost 100 guns and 1,200 rounds of ammunition have been recovered by police so far for the year 2020. Leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, is calling on National Security Minister Herman Gil Francis to offer more details on the statistics surrounding what he stated is an increasing number of hitman murders currently being recorded by local law enforcement. The call for clarification follows the pronouncement by the National Security Minister, where he disclosed on a local talk show that 15 to 20% of murders taking place on island are paid killings. Jacques Wooding reports.
As he spoke on local talk show Newsmaker Live, Minister for National Security Herman Gil Francis revealed that investigations into as much as 20% of murders recorded by local law enforcement have revealed that perpetrators are paid to commit these crimes. According to the minister, murder for hire is becoming big business in St. Lucia. The island has recorded 28 homicides so far this year, and according to Francis, at least 2 of the 28 homicides were carried out by hitmen. Francis disclosed that at the moment, several ongoing hits or threats to take the life of certain politicians are known to local law enforcement. Opposition leader Philip J. Pierre expressed that such pronouncements from the government's highest authority for justice are alarming, to say the least. Pierre believes that the minister should offer more information on the issue.
That was actually a very frightening statement. And to make it worse, the minister said politicians are on the hit list. So 3 of us are here. We don't know which one of us is on the hit list. We don't know who is on the hit list. For the ministers to say that politicians are on the hit list for hitmen is a very, very serious statement. And I think the minister should speak to the details or speak to the politicians who he knows, because he says he knows who are under the hit list, and so that they can review their security arrangements.
He implores the National Security Minister to utilize all the resources available to him to stop this developing trend before the society is further implicated by organized crime.
He says that known hitmen and they targeted politicians and others. So I think the minister should use all the powers of the state to get to find out what is happening. It's a very serious statement, very, very serious. It's one of the most serious statements I've heard for a long time.
National Security Minister Hermangild Francis is one of several politicians who have reportedly received death threats in recent years. In 2017, Francis disclosed that he received a death threat via letter. In April 2020, Prime Minister Alan Shastney also received a death threat via a video posted to social media. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
On Thursday, the 30th of July 2020, the Ministry of Health and Wellness reported its 25th case of COVID-19. Presently, the individual is in the intensive care unit at the Respiratory Hospital for Management and Care. The clinical team reports that he is stable and responding well. The team continues investigations and contact tracing to establish the source and contain transmission. 4 caretakers and close relatives have been swabbed and placed in quarantine. 3 healthcare workers and 14 patients have been tested and placed in quarantine due to possible exposure. The gentleman received many visits by family and friends during his recuperation at home. Investigations continue into a possible contact with a travel history at this time. The ministry awaits test results before any links are confirmed and communicated. In other news, the Black Lives Matter movement St. Lucia has indicated that the intention of its rally on the 1st of August will be to incite an awakening in the youth and upcoming generations. They say the holiday is one that should be celebrated with more reverence, and the group is hoping to achieve that goal with its Emancipation Day rally.
After weeks of waiting, the Black Lives Matter movement St. Lucia has received approval from the relevant authorities to host their August 1st Emancipation Rally at the Constitution Park under the theme, Our Journey Continues. Black Lives Matter St. Lucia member Laura Jomo-Jean-Pierre indicated that the global Black Lives Matter movement has incited an awakening in black people, and the activity on Saturday should cause St. Lucian youth to become more conscious.
It is important that we mark this point in history. A time to look in what I call in retrospect, in introspect, and in prospect, where we have come from. Crucial. And a time to reflect on ourselves, to look within and see where we are, reevaluate our position in the struggle, because the struggle continues. It's not done yet. We don't have economic power. We don't have certain rights and privileges that are given to certain people based on the color of their skin. So the battle continues until you have economic power, you have land, you feed yourself. The social justice part is not concretized. So we need to fight for that, and we need to look in prospect. And by prospect, I mean, where are we going? So the movement here and the whole celebration is to get into a celebratory mood, of course, to celebrate the victories that we have won, the battles that we have won, but also to look at the prospect, the struggles that are now and are to come.
Another member, Aaron Ras Iron Alexander, gave some insight into what can be expected on Saturday.
The celebration on which will be taking place tomorrow at Constitution Park, we are having some artists, persons singing songs in terms of the theme of emancipation, in the whole spirit of emancipation, from reggae artists to calypso artists. We're going to have a few poets, some drumming, acknowledging the efforts and the sacrifice made by our ancestors, calling on the spirit of the ancestors to be with us and paying our respect. And in many ways, the nation of St. Lucia will be joining with, people all over the world who will be celebrating emancipation as well, in saying a collective thank you to our ancestors for fighting that struggle. Because emancipation was not given to us on a silver platter. We fought for emancipation, we fought for our freedom, and many of our ancestors lost their lives. So as the struggle continues, we as black people, we as African descendants must ask ourselves on which side of the fence we find ourselves.
Jean-Pierre says events of this magnitude should inspire youth to realize that there are many social issues to be remedied and motivate them to work toward being the change they wish to see.
The young people will be drawn and realize that even if you have a job and you have more degrees than thermometers, There are issues that need to be dealt with. There are battles to be won. Yes, we've won some battles, but there remains more land to be possessed. And then we need to get into the realm of ideas. Why are we doing that? What is the reason behind it? Where are we going? Our story. Why can't we tell our story? The Jews have a story, their master story. The Christian religion has a story. The Palestinians have a story. What about the transatlantic slavery story? This is our story, and we need to tell it, not to be ashamed of it, and to draw that younger generation to reach out. And as we do that, remember Brother Luis, who've just passed and was buried. All of these fellows we built on somebody's back, figuratively.
The rally will begin at 1 p.m. Individuals are invited to carry placards in support of whichever social ill in St. Lucia they believe need to be remedied. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
There were many questions surrounding whether approval would be granted by police for events over the weekend. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has announced that the Black Lives Matter Movement St. Lucia activity brought to the office of the Commissioner, as well as activities by the SLP Soufrière candidate, have been approved, but with strict protocol. Genevieve Gonzague tells us more.
2 activities have been officially approved by the Office of the Police Commissioner for Emancipation Day 2020. The first being the Black Lives Matter rally in Castries, and the second, an Emancipation Day activity by the St. Lucia Labour Party Soufrière Constituency Council Office. Acting Corporal 806 Anne Joseph explained that while the activities have been approved, all protocols set must be followed.
They must maintain health and safety protocols under the Emergency Powers Disaster COVID-19 number 10 order. The number of participants must be less than 200. There must be a system in place to check and control the number of participants in attendance. The sound system must be kept at a moderate level. Adequate security must be in place to ensure the safety of patrons. Security officers must be in uniform. No vehicles should park on sidewalks or in any manner to create an obstruction to the other road users. And a police officer may withdraw the permits if he or she is of the view that any of the above conditions have been violated.
She indicated that an additional rule must be adhered to by the Black Lives Matter movement on Saturday.
In relation to the Black Lives Matter's application, there is an additional condition that they are to adhere to the program of activities as submitted in the application. So upon the request that was made to the Commissioner, there was a program submitted by that movement, and they are to keep with the program that was submitted to the Office of the Commissioner of Police.
The acting police commissioner, Milton Daisy, was questioned as to why this activity was approved, yet others were not.
The difference with the 2 applications from Black Lives, on the first application, there was no provisions made for such activity, and the commissioner did not have the authority to grant any permit at the time. However, now there's the provisions made for activities to be of 200 and less, so the commissioner is authorized to give permission within that number of individuals.
The members of the Black Lives Matter movement St. Lucia have indicated that they have every intention of adhering to all the protocols set in order to ensure a successful Emancipation Day rally. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, one mother turns her pain into purpose after losing her child who was born prematurely. SLP MPs claim they have not received a cent of constituency funds. And St. Lucia hopes to attract visitors from the Caribbean with a Bubblecation campaign. That and more after the break.